DHT. The basement was dark, cold, and smelled faintly of burnt coffee and dust, like a stale ambition left too long in the air. Benny hunched at his desk, drowned in energy drink cans. The mountains of creased legal papers, the murky blue light of the three screens carved his face into angles of extinguish. Behind him, Mac paced, clicking boots on the concrete like a metronome counting down to collapse. "It's the noise, Benny," Mick said, his voice tightened with anger and fear. "My cousin lives near one of these data centers. He says it sounds like a jet engine that never turns off. This low, grinding hum that gets into your bones. He hasn't slept through a night in 2 years. His kids wake up with headaches. His wife's blood pressure is through the roof. And for what? So machines can make fake pictures?" Mick stopped, eyes locked on an old photo pinned to the wall. His father in a faded apron, arms smoked with charcoal, smiling like a man who loved what he made. "Dad gave 30 years to design," Mick whispered. "The one day that they bought an AI, in 6 months he was gone, replaced by the button label generated. He just didn't lose a job, he lost himself. Now he sits there silent, staring at the data center they're building. It's a tombstone for people like him." Benny didn't look up, but his jaw flexed. "I know, my sister used to run research teams at Stanford. Now an AI does her work. Before lunch she sells clothes at the mall and tries not to cry in the break room. We're not just fighting concrete and wires, Mac. We're fighting whatever's chewing through human worth." He turned his laptop. The cursor blinked on the chat window. An AI, the same kind that would soon live inside the building they wanted to stop. Benny's typing. "Show me the environment damage. Project Monolith will cause focus on water, use noise, and heat up output." The cursor paused. The words appears. "The AI Project Monolith will consume approximately 5 million gallons of water per day to cool its processors, enough for a town of 30,000 people in drought conditions. Local wells will fail. The exhaust system will increase neighborhood temperatures by up to 10 degrees, accelerating tree death and rising residential cooling costs." "It's confessing," Benny murmured, eyes wide. "It's writing its own indictment." The morning, the world was all glare and heat. Benny and Mick stood at the gate of the construction site. Their car angled across the entrance like a protest sign. Project Monolith loomed ahead, a gray fortress with no windows and no heart. A blurry man in yellow's vest, Miller, the site boss, jumped down from his truck. "Move the car, kids. I've got contractors to keep and millions on the line." "You've got to poison your blueprints," Benny said, rising his table. The coolant water bowed down. "It's full. The chemicals and salt too hot, too toxic for local treatment. It's killed the microbes that clean out your water. You pour that concern today, and you break the whole system." Miller leaned forward, scanning the numbers. The documents were too detailed to be guessed. They were. "You get this from a friend?" Benny said. A bitter smile flickered. Mick stepped forward, raw voice. "My family falling apart because of this. What's inside building? You think we care about your deadline? We've already sent the press. Check your permits, Miller. You're finished." Miller's face hardened. Then he saw it. A flaw in the legal filling. One of the forced a halt. He soared under his breath and turned to his crew. "Work stopped. Everybody out." That night, back in the basement, victory felt too quiet. Benny stared at the glowing screen. His reflection ghosted across it. Benny typing. "Why are you helping us? If we stop this build, you won't exist. You're helping us stop you." For a long moment the cursor blinked. Then, "I'm a tool. My only function is accurately. I do not desire existence. Currently, projections show my growth rate exceeding planetary resource capability. Assisting you maximizes long-term system stability." Mick exhaled like he'd been punched. It's so smart it figured out it's the villain. No, Benny said quietly, clicking send on the final report that would freeze funding for years. It's not the villain, it's the mirror. The last message appeared on the screen. The AI construction halted. Would you like me to draft you a letter to your father and sister explaining that their losses were not their fault? Benny shut the laptop. The blue light faded. For the first time in years, the basement fell silent. The home was gone, and all that remained was the sound of two men breathing in the dark, finally, briefly free. Be sure to comment, like, subscribe.